Hello. Hello. That's all I do. Hello. So, how's everybody? Good. I don't really care. But at least you're trying to be honest and tell me. Because a lot of the time people lie, you know, about that kind of stuff. You know, when you meet somebody in the street and you go, how are you doing? And they say, oh, I'm fine. How are you? And you say, oh, I'm fine. And then you say, see ya. Because you can't really be fucked with human communication most of the time. And then if you tell people the truth, they often get upset, because if you meet somebody and they go, how are you going? How are you doing? And you say, oh, I'm terrible. I have piles. My skin is falling off in huge lumps. I live with an old woman I don't really know underground, and we suck stones for money. I have an incredibly rare leg disease, and my incredible collection of bonsai trees was wiped out today. Everything is unbelievably shit, and I want to die. What will they say? You know, they'll just go, ah, well, okay, see ya. You know, they can't really deal with it. Anyway, some of you, I see some of you are young people. You snuck in here tonight, young people, and I must say I don't like you, because I'm supposed to be sort of young, and I don't like young people. You know, they're icky and they run around too quickly. I don't trust anything that moves that fast, and I don't really understand the culture either, because young people go to these rave things. You know, this buff buff buff. There's music, apparently that's music. To me it sounds like a lot of people putting up shelves. And they go and they dance for 8 or 10 days at a time without speaking, you know, and they perspire 5 times their own body weight, and then they go home alone because they're too fucked to do anything else. You know, when I was growing up, it was a social thing. You would get into your van very, very drunk, find most of your friends by knocking them down, then you put them in the back and go and look for the local dance, which is behind a tree or a wall. And you go in there and go up to the nearest woman, and if she's not cross-eyed, you vomit on her. And then she's yours for life. It's a kind of a ritual thing. And sometimes you see the unlucky guy who goes up to the cross-eyed woman and he doesn't get away in time, and she vomits on him. And they have lots of kids running around diagonally. But it was a system, that's my point. Anyway, I'm a man and everything, you know, and either that or a woman who's really let herself go. And it's not easy being a man. No. I had to get dressed today. And there are other pressures. And men get a very hard time in the female media. You go to a woman's magazine, they're always doing these surveys, you know, in between the ads for alligator bath mats and Chanel ear loops. And they put in the, you know, surveys. What do you want from a man? And women always come out with the same kind of thing, you know. They go, oh, I don't know, just some kind of physical, psychical, intellectual melding, really. Where you get that oceanic feeling, and you can create an environment where child-rearing and continual exploration of the existent relationship is still possible. That would be okay. And then they go to guys, and invariably they go to some fuck clump called Wayne, and how about you then, huh? And he goes, oh, I don't know, ha, knockers, way! And maybe some of those crisps that taste a bit like pizza, ha. Not all men are like that. I know 2 guys in Spain. And the other pressure on men comes from male media. You know, you get a lot of stuff from, you know, GQ and Broom and Trousers, all that stuff. And intimidating stuff like, you know, health, wealth, style, success, all those intimidating articles like brush your teeth and your hair. Ah, fuck off. And there's a big health scare on for men as well, for testicular cancer. That, women don't get that so much. That is a very scary thing there, because you have to look for a lump in a bag of lumps, and that can take a long time. And you have to, you know, and it's very, you can't tell anybody if you find anything, because you know what will happen. They lift you through the streets going lump, 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 and throw you in prison, and then little men will come in and beat you with waffles. That's what happens. They cover it up, but that's what happens. And it's a very difficult thing to do, because, you know, you're a man and you have to touch yourself to examine yourself, and as a man you're designed to be aroused by most naturally occurring phenomena on the planet. You know, see a big bag of wheat or a bit of falling masonry, that can get you going. So to actually touch yourself can be very dangerous. You can have 30 erections and pass out in the street. And it's incredible what men will interpret as sexual, though, you know. Did you see the way she looked at me before she told me to fuck off? Anything. It doesn't really matter. women talk a lot more about various things. They ring one another up and say, let's go into town and talk. And that's all they do. They don't exchange money or car parts or anything. And men get worried about all that kind of thing. And because men don't really talk about a lot of stuff because they're trying to, be achieving and successful all the time. And they just go around going, okay, I have to merge with Japan. I have to merge with Japan. Merge. And every now and again, they'll kind of feel weird and grab their best friend and say, sometimes I feel a bit funny. Don't tell anybody, will you? Merge. And that goes on for a couple of years, and then they have a breakdown, and they lose it, and they just go, I can't do anything anymore. I just want to be a buttercup. And somebody comes along and helps them out, and they get back on their feet, and they're okay. But a woman can do that in the morning. And still have time to go to work and fire somebody. But And women pick up on things in a completely different way as well, and men get alienated by that because women will say things like, oh, I knew she was depressed. Why? She didn't finish her tea. Men need more, I knew he was a bit off. Why? His head was on fire. You do lie a lot, cover up things as a human being. It's part of being an adult, because that's, the phone rings, you pick it up and you go, oh, it's you, I'm so pleased. Oh, let's have lunch. 2 lunches, dinner, a buffet. Then you put down the phone and you go, what a children don't do that. Children don't bother lying. They're much more sophisticated in a way. If they don't like something, they just go around going, I'm bored. Oh, you're boring. And if they like you, they'll go up and say, you smell nice, can I stay in your house for 2 weeks? And old people don't lie as much either, because nobody really asks them anything, because they just kind of go, and you don't know whether they're having a good time or being bitten. And I'm quite looking forward to being old, just so I can be with my son or daughter in a restaurant and lean over every now and again and just say, you know what I just did? I just pissed myself. You deal with it. That must be kind of liberating. But that's all for me. Thank you very much.